Oh, shit. Not killing you while I had the chance. I know I had the chance. I know I had. Oh, oh, oh. Whip, whip, whip. Oh, shit. Oh, okay, now I can hear. See, that's what the webcam audio would sound like. Whip, whip, whip. Oh, shit. Wait, is that the correct audio? See, that's what the webcam audio is. Well, clearly that's not what the webcam audio is. Oh, shit. Wait. This is going to be an endless chain going
It's a
through.
lot. It's body rolls, the live stream.
Yeah. Okay, video output low. Viewers will experience buffering. That's not good. Maybe our connection's not good enough for live streaming. Although it probably doesn't help I've got this open. Well, at least it seems to be private, so that's good.
That's important.
Okay. Whoa, they've got a beta for live streaming on Patreon.
That's fucking cool.
Let's see how this shit works. Figure out if we're just gonna abandon the YouTube one and do this one. Yes, I want to test the live stream. Maybe I will always hold you, but the sun will melt me true. You better lay on that, and everywhere I'm haunting you. In the river Ganges, goddamn's my name. Well, this is taking too fucking long to load, so we're not using that. It's obviously not fully ironed out yet.
I
Hence,
guess not.
live stream beta. Should be $20 or more, right? Yeah. Should be $20 or more, right? Yeah. In the river Ganges, down plains my way. Don't let these hands sharpen your eyes, or eyes full tears. Don't let these hands sharpen your eyes, or eyes full tears. Don't let these hands sharpen your eyes. I'm gonna turn up the monitor brightness just so that it'll light my face.
Yeah.
There we go. And you've got the TV light in your face. Alrighty.
Alrighty.
And you've got the TV light in your face. Now that clearly sounds like it's the webcam audio, right?
Yes, that does.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Test, 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 test. And you've got the TV light in your face. Test, test, test. Webcam audio, right?
Yes, that does.
Alrighty. Test, 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 test. Still sounds like a TV. Like, test, test, test. Webcam audio, right?
Yes, that does.
Desktop audio. Test, 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 test. We're just gonna stop. Shut the fuck up. Alright, testing audio. Seeing if it's coming out of... That looks right. Test, 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 test. Oh god, I started while that was still happening. Alright, testing audio. There we go. That's what it's supposed to sound like. Sick. So repop out this. Alright, you ready? I'm gonna go ahead and launch this shit.
Sure.
Then we just gotta wait for people to show up. Now we play the waiting game.
How long does it normally take?
Like less than a minute.
Oh,
Usually
yeah.
there's some people who are, because they get an email
ready, yeah.
when they get a, you know, when a patronage post comes up. So, you know, some people are just like on that shit, man. I mean, we're starting 12 minutes early, so people might not be prepared, but, you know, hey, we got Just Us Gamers who says, yo, yo.
Yo.
Give me a yo.
Yo.
We got ho. What up, y'all? We started early because we're bored of sitting around trying to figure out streaming settings, but I think I've got it all good. Let me know if the stream turns to shit. It's the first time doing it on this internet connection, so if anything goes wrong... It seems to be dropping 65% of the frames. I don't know if that affects the audio. It's 20 frames per second. Well, just let me know if it's shitty. Which there's only 2 people in here, and neither of them is saying anything, so I'm assuming it's not shitty. Guess we're probably going to sit around and wait for more people.
Okay.
I'll just click edit scene and show off my background. Yeah. Move this shit. There we go. Cool. Cool girl in space playing Game Boy. She's playing Pokemon. And it is, in fact, on her little screen, is she's using Godzilla, and she's fighting Mothra.
It's fucking beautiful.
It's great. Audio is all good. That's all that truly matters. The video can be total dog shit as long as the audio is good. That's the Digibro way. Oh, here, have a sneak preview of the video. Hey, okay, hello. Shittier audio, but is everybody here? Can you still... Do I have to relink? Let me know if you are watching this stream at this moment. If anybody is capable of seeing this stream right now. Because I had to take it down and bring it back, and I don't know how that works. Fuck this fucking microphone. Thankfully, the webcam, while it sounds like shit, picks you up from like 1,000 years away. So that's the cool part about it. It's got like a really powerful pull on the audio. Just making sure it is in fact coming out of. Wait. Oh, motherfucker! I killed. Okay, yeah, it's that one. That's the right one. Hello, Kendra Cars. He says it works. It doesn't need work. You guys can start asking me questions or anything if you want to. We can go for it, man. You guys can get right in. I need questions before I can say anything of interest. So say hello to May. She's my girlfriend. We live together in this place. It's my office. Sound panels everywhere. That looks like a safety cone behind me.
What is it?
It's just a Crunchyroll bag full of posters,
Shit.
but it looks like a safety cone behind me.
It does.
Arrow manga is the fucking happiest, most heartwarming thing I've watched since I don't know when. Quote from someone in my friends' Discord chat.
Oh.
Kill me. Happiest, most heartwarming thing. I mean, I can't see heartwarming. It's a show about a guy who wants to fuck his sister and who may be a sociopath. I don't know, man. It's not sad. If you want to watch something heartwarming, go watch a fucking magical girl show or something. We've been watching Kiruminzu. That's the happiest, most heartwarming thing. Well, Fancy Lala might be the most heartwarming thing I've seen in a while.
It was pretty heartwarming.
Yeah.
There was nothing heart-wrenching.
No, it was all cute and fun. What's it been like moving? It was interesting and intense because the main moving part was just the literal 12.5-hour drive from fucking my place to here, which was a non-stop trip that we did. I mean, we stopped like 2 or 3 times to pee, and that's it. And get like shitty food at a fucking Sheetz.
Never go to Sheetz.
Yeah,
Sheetz
but
fucking sucks.
It was the experience. I mean, I've moved 18 times in my life, so like I'm used to moving. That comes naturally to me. And even within my house, because I lived in the same place for like 9 years, but well, not 9. What was it? 8 years. And but I would move my shit around all the time. Like I would regularly rearrange my whole room. You know, I had to move my whole room downstairs before I moved out of the place. So like the activity of just packing up all my shit and moving it around is very normal to me. So that part was fine. Like packing everything we did in like a day, the day before we left. And so I packed it all up, and then getting the U-Haul was interesting because we got a trailer and they had to put a trailer hitch on my car, which seemed like it took like what 4 hours to do that. I don't know why. I mean, like we had to bring it in at a certain time, and then it was done 4 hours later, but there's no way it could have actually taken 4 hours to attach the damn thing. But so we just kind of walked around for 4 hours, and then when we went to go pick up the trailer on the day of, you know, like we have to be there that day, or else she's going to miss a driving test that's scheduled for the next day, you know, or work the day after that if we are too late. So, like, we hitch this, or we go to hitch this trailer, and they're like, oh, it doesn't work. Your trailer hitch doesn't work. We think a fuse is blown in your shit. And we were just like, ah! So we had to go back to the other U-Haul place because it was at 2 different U-Hauls, and then like have them try to fix it. So it was like 2 hours or so before we could consult somebody, and then another hour for them to fix it. So basically we were fucking paranoid as shit that it wasn't going to work, and that we were going to fucking have to wait an extra day. And then finally they got it hooked up, and yeah, we just came back and packed everything in like an hour into the truck, and took the fuck off. And then I drove for 12 hours because she does not have a license, so there was no trading off going on here. It was me and my car pulling a trailer, and her keeping me alive, which I'm impressed you stayed awake for 12 hours.
I can't sleep in the car.
I can't either. Well, I can, but only at like a point of like pure sheer exhaustion. Because I would always do this thing where when we went to Otakon each year, I'd get too excited and stay up all night, thinking I'll just sleep for the 4-hour car drive, and then get in the car and I can't sleep. So then by the time we get there, I'm like, you know, and then we have to go and sign up and everything. And then even that night, sometimes I won't even get to sleep till late just because I catch a second wind and I'm still excited, you know. Not as much anymore, since I'm not really as excited about any convention I go to. Now I'm like, how many hours of sleep can I work in? Like, where can I leave the con to go sleep, you know? But at the end of the convention, when we're driving home, that's when I will just fucking die in the car. Because I can't, I've, like, you know, physically exerted myself way beyond my abilities. But yeah, we drove 12 hours, slept at her place, and then the moving in process was like a breeze. Because we literally had not even signed the lease on this place. Like, this is a, you know, a 1 year or 9 month or something like that lease that we were picking up from somebody else. And, like, we had all the information, they'd run our shit and, like, approved us, but we hadn't actually, like, signed the papers to say we have this place yet. So we literally just drive up, like, with the car with the fucking tow on it, and go into the main office, and they're just like, here, sign these papers, and you're done.
The most difficult part was actually signing the lease because they gave us a
Yeah.
shitty tablet.
Because, well, not just a shitty tablet, but their website's dog
It's
shit.
fucking dumb.
So, like, it literally wouldn't load. It took, like, a
Yeah.
full minute, or maybe up to 5 minutes, to load a page of this lease so I could click on all the little signature buttons and move to the next page. But we didn't have to pay the first month's rent because the previous renter had already paid it.
Hell yeah.
So that was easy. And yeah, like there was even stuff we didn't have. Like, we didn't have renter's insurance, which we had to have, but they let us move in anyways. There was like, oh, you can get it later, I guess, you know,
still have
which
to
we
show
did.
them that
Yeah, we haven't actually told them yet that we have it, but yeah, it's shockingly easy, and like they're an all online kind of place. So like, basically, I just gotta set up my recurring monthly payments, and it'll take care of itself. You know, the rent will pay itself, basically. Hopefully I can do that with bills too. That'd be nice. I just want everything to come out of my wallet without me ever looking at it. I don't even want to have to press approve. I want it to just take the money from me, and I'll never look at it, because then I don't have to think about anything, and all I have to worry about is making enough money that it's in my bank when they come to take it. So, yeah, moving in was shockingly easy. We took all my shit out of the car, then we went to her place, put all her shit in the trailer, and took that. And then I had the trailer on my car for 4 days total, because they let us have it for 4 days. So we were like, oh, let's do, you know, anything else big we need to get. Let's do it while we have the trailer. Driving around with a trailer on your car sucks balls, but it was worth it because we got this extra couch that we picked up at the thrift store for $30. Which is pretty fucking dope. We've gotten much use out of this couch already. This couch has been our lives for the last couple days, really. Like, all the anime is watched there. So, yeah, it was surprisingly painless for moving up 5 states, getting my first place, you know, renting a townhouse. It all went really well, I would say. The only thing that didn't go well was that you failed the driver's test again.
Stop. Literally stop.
I had a guest, and just as they left, you started, so I'm not really prepared. Well, get ready. Are you settled into your new lifestyle yet, or are you still breaking into it? I would say breaking into it, just because right now I'm driving her around to work and stuff, and so I'm kind of based around her schedule, you know, which is fine. Like, I don't mind being like up during the day for once. It's just like I don't really know when I should be working or not, because it's a lot more fun to just hang out and not work. And
I'm a bad influence. I need to go away.
Well, you do. I mean, thankfully you could participate in my work. Like right now, it's her day off. I was like, I have to work today. I have to do this live stream. Do you want to be on the live stream? And you were like, I guess. And there you go. That's how you simultaneously have fun spending time with your girlfriend and also do your work. So, yeah. And I figured you guys would probably have questions for her that she could help
ask
answer.
me anything. I'm an open book.
Don't say anything.
Don't ask me anything.
You can ask anything.
Don't
Don't
ask me
expect
any
answers to
questions.
everything. Oh, having moved into the house I just bought, I can say moving isn't the hard part. It's all the money you spend on house essentials that hurts. Well, we luckily were pretty well taken care of, because my family, see, as you guys probably know, my parents had moved out and gotten their own place. And in the 8 months they lived there, they had fully bought everything possible that they could need for that place. And so they moved back in, and they've got all this shit now. So they had doubles of, like, everything. So we just took all the doubles, like, some of which we didn't even need. We got an extra microwave now. Our place already had one, you know. But yeah, like, we were taken care of on most shit, and then anything we didn't have, we've just, like, figured it out when the need arises. Like, oh, we don't have a shower curtain. We should get a shower curtain. Oh, we got a shower curtain, but it didn't come with a shower liner, and we've made a huge mess. I guess we should go buy a shower liner. Yeah, so I would say it's only been $150 on house essentials, maybe an extra 50 on furniture that we just wanted, like the couch, you know. So yeah, it hasn't been painful at all. Also, what have you brought from home to your new home, or what have you left of? That's a better question. I brought everything. Everything I own, I brought with me. Like, I was worried I'd have to leave shit behind because, you know, the trailer's only so big. The only thing I left behind was like a stack of Nintendo Power and Game Informer magazines that I didn't want. There was a lot of stuff I was prepared to leave. I was prepared to leave like you know, all the magazines, like all the anime magazines, but I didn't want to leave those.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was going to have to leave behind the big box of empty Blu-rays and cases for the Plebe and the Weeb, and that I'd have to come back and get them when it's finally time to make the Blu-rays. But we had just enough space, so I ran back in and grabbed that and threw it in. I also thought I was going to have to leave behind like all my MLP shit and all the fan letters and stuff that were just crammed in my closet. But at the last minute, I was like, baby, prepare a box. I'm going to grab all this shit. And I just, like, dumped everything in there. And now it's just in my closet in a box. More managed than it was before because it's contained. So, yeah. 833. I don't know what that means. It is I, says Urishima. Hello, Urishima. I think you can set up various bill pays like that with your bank. Yeah, probably. I mean, it seems like I said, this place, they were like, oh, we do everything online. Like, don't ever come talking to us about anything. We don't want to hear about it. We are an online-only place. And I was like, fix your website then, because it runs like shit. It really reminds me a lot of Blackboard. You know? Like, it's not as bad as Blackboard, but, like, the system reminds me.
I don't know. Like, their organization, they're not organized at all. Like...
Oh, I mean, the website's not as bad as Blackboard.
No, it's not, but...
But this place is very disorganized. It took them forever to run my application for the place. And, like, even when they had problems with it, it took them days to, like, call me and get it sorted out. We were worried for a little bit.
They have people who are, like, working from other apartment complexes here because they were short-staffed for the holiday season. When I went in there to, like, grab the documents, they're like, oh, I don't even work here, but here's a folder. And I'm like, thanks!
This guy says he had to turn down the quality so his girlfriend can watch another live stream. The quality can't be very high. It's telling me I'm outputting, like 30% of the frames that it's trying to capture. And, like, there's, like, a red bar indicating my internet or something. Hey, did I miss anything? Not really. Now that you're a Ryaju, are you afraid of Bakuhatsu? Ryaju means, like, real person, I think, like an offline person. Bakuhatsu means explosion. So am I afraid of exploding now that I'm a real boy? I'm always afraid of exploding. What is it like living with Digi?
What's it like?
Yeah.
It's not too different from how I would normally live. Like, you don't have too much of a different lifestyle.
That's the funny thing about it. We've been, like, connected at the hip, spending all of our time together, but we just do the same shit.
Yeah.
Like, it hasn't been weird at all.
It's like a shadow that just is a person.
I mean, I'm somebody who I've always liked doing things with other people more than doing it alone. But, like, who is going to do all the things that you're going to do, you know? Apparently this person right here. So, like, we both love going out to eat. So we go out to eat all the time. We watch anime. You know, we do other things together. Fuck, for like 3 hours a day.
3 hours is like a low ball estimate.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. It can be more, for sure. I would say 3 hours like average. Rank your housemates over the years. Vic, Shade, Devu, Ben, and Mrs. Bro. You're Mrs. Bro now.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
like
Mrs. Bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's kind of a difference with Vic and Shade, because, you know, well, I guess not really, because we did all, when my parents were gone, we all kind of lived together. Well, Mrs. Bro is the best.
Of course.
We've spent all our time together, and it's been fun. I have had no complaints whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though I drop everything?
Yeah, she's clumsy as fuck, but that's adorable, so I don't care. And nothing's broken.
That's true.
So
I haven't ruined the carpet yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
I mean, thankfully, I'm a big practicality over appearance kind of guy when it comes to things that are in the house. So, like, for instance, we just, like, even though my mom's friend generously gave us a massive set of plates and bowls and cups, we immediately went and bought paper plates and plastic shit because, like, yeah, you can throw it away
Yeah.
and you don't have to clean it. Perfect, you know, it won't break. It won't ever fucking shatter all over your floor and get glass everywhere, cowardly glass that you step on a year later because you can never get every glass shard. You know, go watch Fuck Glass if you haven't seen it already. So, yeah, I don't know. It's like we've child-proofed ourselves. I mean, I'm as bad. I've spilled like 4 things I've had to clean up.
Yeah.
Like beer and soda because I always put it on the ground so I could reach it easily and then inevitably
We need
knock
sippy
it over.
cups. That's.
Yeah, we need sippy cups. We're babies. You guys have a plunger, right? We did
Yes,
get a
we
plunger.
do.
Yeah.
Yes, it was
You
my idea.
realized that because she works at Target, and I believe you went into the bathroom or no, someone bought a plunger.
Yeah, somebody bought a plunger, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. Which is funny because I was thinking about how we should probably get a toilet cleaning brush, but I was like, we'll put that off till the toilet's nasty.
Yeah.
I never even crossed my mind that a plunger would be far more necessary to have on hand.
We haven't had to use it yet.
No, not yet.
No. I haven't broken
Hopefully
it in.
never.
We'll definitely have to use it.
I don't know. I use very little toilet paper personally,
Yeah.
so
I use a fuck ton.
all girls do.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's number 1, and then to rank them down the list, it's hard because they're basically all tied. Like, Vic and Ben are both probably tied for number 2 because both of them they keep to themselves, but they're always down for shit. If you come to them like, hey, let's do a thing, they're likely to be down for it, you know? Probably Ben more so than Victor because Victor's gone half the time, and Victor could also be grouchy and shit, but not so much since he started dating Hope. Like, he's been fucking Mr. Sunshine ever since they started dating. So, other than that, I'd say, yeah, Ben's pretty great. Me and him would stand around and smoke, like, every day. So, maybe he's a terrible house guest. He got me into smoking hardcore. But not that it was, like, his fault, but he definitely made it worse. And then Shade, who just is in his own world. Like, we literally would not see Shade for days on end. Because he worked, like, till 4 in the morning at Domino's. He was working, like, 60-hour weeks. And all the other time he spent with his girlfriend. And they basically built their room so that they would never have to leave it. Like, they got their own hot plate to cook with. They got a mini fridge. They had, like, all the kitchen essentials so that they would never have to even go into the kitchen. So we never saw them. Because that was the main hangout for all of us, was the kitchen. And then lowest tier would be Devu. Not that he was bad to live with or anything, but just that he and I have so many, like, vastly different approaches to how we live. And it's not even that he was ever in my way. It's just that, like, I pick up on a lot of things because I'm observant. Like, Ben never noticed. Ben and Devu could live completely different lives right across from each other, and Ben is just completely oblivious because he doesn't pay attention to shit. But me and Devu, like, just lots of small lifestyle differences that, like, all of his stuff is logical in his own mind. I get why he does it, but I'm always just perplexed by the decisions he makes about his lifestyle. Like, for instance, that when my parents moved back in, they were, like, baffled because there was shitloads of cleaning supplies everywhere, but none used. Because he was just stockpiling stuff that he thought he would eventually need because he thought he'd be living there for a long time. And then he couldn't take most of it with him when he moved back because he shipped all his shit, you know? So basically he left behind, like, hundreds of dollars of cleaning supplies that he shouldn't have bought, you know? Like, I guess I get his logic, but, like, I would never do that. We bought, like, what? We bought a mop, a Swiffer, with, like, 4 little attachable things. We did not buy a second pack, because we're like, how often would we mop?
Yeah.
You know, the only reason
we
it
need
had
a second patch, we go get one. But,
yeah.
Like, that's only if we need it.
The only reason mopping was even necessary at all was because of all the moving we did,
Yeah.
and, tracking in mud and
We'll
shit.
probably use all the mop pads. The kitchen's gonna get dirty. And
If you like mopping, then maybe we.
I kind of like cleaning.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I was cleaning yesterday. I was fucking into it. I don't usually like doing it.
This is why I'm marrying you.
Oh.
That and many other reasons. Thanks to your Otake vid, I've started seeking old shows, and it's the best decision I've taken in a while. Hey, good. Yeah, see, we did it.
Yeah.
The Otake expedition got people into old shows. Probably got you into old shows. How much 90s anime have you seen?
Probably like one.
Like Sailor Moon and
Probably.
that's about it. Have you actually watched Cardcaptor Sakura?
No.
No. But you knew about it.
Yeah, I know.
You know the stuff. What do you think about Explanation Point? He's pretty cool. Explanation Point's that guy I was showing you the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just found out about him like yesterday because someone did an analysis video of Explanation Point, and that was posted to my subreddit. And like, I think someone had tried to link me one of his videos before, but I just didn't pay attention. But watching that guy's video got me interested, and then I watched his like how to play Magic video, and I thought his editing style was really funny and cool. And so then I watched his videos about Sword Art Online Abridged, and it was very gratifying because people have been asking me to analyze Sword Art Online Abridged for 3 years, and I don't want to watch Sword Art Online Abridged. And his video made me way more not want to watch Sword Art Online Abridged because the voice acting sounds fucking terrible. Like, they all have, like, obnoxious, shitty voices and bad mics, and they pop their mics constantly, and I was just like, oh, I'm never watching that. Thanks for saving me the trouble, Explanation Point. But yeah, it was a good video. It's so bizarre that you're living in Rochester now. I lived in Saratoga Springs for a year, so it's odd knowing the area you're in now. Where is Saratoga Springs?
It's somewhere.
Somewhere? Is it nearby?
Sort of. It's like, I want to say 2 hours away, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, May here has lived in the area for most of her life.
Half my life.
Half of her life, but has the poorest sense of direction.
Well, like, when I was actually aware of direction, I was in Syracuse at college, so,
Right.
like, that's where, like, I base things off of, like, where are things in relation to Syracuse, because that's, like, where I considered myself living and established.
Right. So, like, basically, you came of age there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's understandable. I was telling her how, for me and my brothers, like, growing up, we lived in Virginia Beach for a long fucking time, and none of us had any idea how to get around until we started driving. And, like, I only truly appreciated that once I learned to drive and I learned my way around, and me and Victor both knew our way around really well, but Shade hadn't started driving yet. And we would, like, ask him, like, oh, we're going to go to that place, you know, it's down by the school. And he'd be like, I don't know how to get to the school. And we'd be like, you've been going there for 4 years, and it's like 2 roads. You go down this road and then that road, and that's the school. And he's like, oh, I don't pay attention on the bus ride. And we were like, wow, you really... But I know it was like that for me, too.
Yeah.
You know, like, I know I probably wouldn't have figured out how to get to school. But, you know, once you learn to drive, it's like everything's completely obvious. And I've gotten really good at navigating as of this 2-month stint on the road. So now I've been Mr. You know, go there once by nav, and then every other time it's like, nah, dude, I fucking memorized it, bro. I've got a map in my mind and shit. I'm cool. First live stream since becoming a Patreon. Hey, what's up, Zachary Roberts? Feel free to ask questions and stuff. Stitch says, have you ended up playing more games now that you have someone else to enjoy them with more consistently? Not yet, but we just bring over what we just brought from your house. Yeah, all of it. See, I mean, we've only been together for, you know, a little bit, and when I was on the trip across the country, I had a PS4 with me that I did not play once. I think I hooked it up one time at Best Guy Ever's house so we could play J-Stars. Otherwise, we used his PS4. But, like, yeah, we had better things to do than play video games, I would say, as well as at my house and here. And, I mean, we've watched a bunch of anime, but we haven't gotten into the video games yet. But I really wanted to play Kirby's Epic Yarn with her, because if you've ever seen the Game Grumps play Kirby's Epic Yarn, not only is it the most cloyingly fucking beautiful game, perfect, adorable, fucking fantastic game ever, but they keep insisting that it's a perfect date game. And so I've dreamed for the last 3 years of having a girlfriend who I could play Kirby with, and she loves Kirby, so it's fucking in. I bought the game, and she brought over all of her GameCube games. Well,
it's not
most.
all of them. I think it's like 2/3.
2/3?
I think we have another one of these, but I have no idea where
These
it
games. I'm not going to show all the games. I mean, you might be able to tell some of them just from the top, but, like, yeah, nobody wants to sit here and go through all these games. But more importantly, you brought the Wii, and I bought Kirby's Epic Yarn, so that is a go as soon as we, like, we literally just brought the Wii from her house, so, you know, we haven't had a chance yet, but I think we will play more video games.
Me too.
I think we'll probably get into playing games together,
Yeah.
especially co-op games. I want her to play Panel de Pon, which is the because she told me she's good at Pokemon Puzzle League, which is Panel de Pon. But the original is fucking adorable, and I think I tried to Let's Play it once, and I recorded like 10 minutes, and I was just bad at it, and then like the recording had fucked up, and I threw it away or something like that. I was like, whatever. But yeah, I want you to get good at that game, and then us do like I'm not gonna just like Let's Play it with you the first time. No, I'm gonna wait till you get addicted to it and master it, and then do a Let's Play with you where you're like just crushing it. That'd be awesome. All right, let's see. Do you think you could ever finish or fail your currently watching list? That's not a bad idea, though a lot of them are fucking long, and some of them should just be in the on hold list. Like, basically the way my on hold list works is that if something sits in the watching list for a long enough time, then eventually I go, well, I'm obviously not watching this, and I put it on hold. Like, Legend of the Galactic Heroes has been sitting in the watching list for 2 years now with 28 episodes watched. It's on hold. It is not being watched right now. The currently watching list is almost pointless for me. Like, unless I finish the show by the end of the season, it's never getting finished. It's going to go on hold. Now, as for if I have any plans to finish or fail my on-hold list, I made a whole... I wrote out my whole on-hold list, put it on my pin board, threw a dart at it on video, and got Sasami-san at Ganbaranai. I watched the first 4 episodes, I loved it, and I didn't finish it. So a few months later, I finally deleted those clips and just was like, fuck it. I hang my head in shame. Like, there's 130 shows on my on-hold list. This is never going to happen. But that's how Finish or Fail started back on the old anime blog, was that it was an attempt to get through my whole on-hold list. I'm realizing I'm going to have to poop. You might have to hold down the fort while I poop.
Okay.
Yeah? I'll answer one more before I go. Don't you watch Game of Thrones? Not anymore. I haven't watched it since season 4, actually. Cardcaptor Sakura is like one of the best shows ever made. It is like what you feel for Ponyo, I feel for Cardcaptor Sakura. Highly recommendable. I also feel similarly about that show to how I do to Ponyo. Though Ponyo is just such a concentrated fucking burst. We have to watch Ponyo. We haven't done that yet. And we should watch Cardcaptor Sakura at some point. But it's 70 episodes, so that will be a while. We're doing Kiriminzu right now, but we're kind of, I think, at the point where we're not as enthusiastic about it because it's gotten into some really weak episodes. I wish there was just like an episode guide for it, which like I would totally be down to make, but then I have to watch the whole show to do it. And I'm the kind of guy who needs the episode guide because most people are completionists and would just watch the whole show. Sorry, I get sick kicks out of shade on other... Oh, throwing shade on other abridgers. Oh, he was because he's an abridger, so he was laughing at me shitting on the essay of abridged guys. Cute. The chat's always like, because I take so long to answer a question, it's always like 10 minutes behind. Personally, I don't see what's so important about a bridge. I mean, come on. First one guy makes a bridge, and everybody uses it. They're like, see, we actually learned how to use maps and compass in grade school. What's so important about a bridge? This must be a reference to something. Anyway, I gotta poop. You
Okay.
should ask questions specifically for May while I poop.
Enjoy your poop, baby.
I really got it.
Alright.
Gotta
I'm
bring
sitting
my
in your
mom.
fancy chair.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Have you sat in it before?
No, I've never sat in your chair.
I'll have fun.
I'm gonna have lots
I'm
of
gonna
fun.
read
Hi, guys.
the life-changing manga of tidying up.
He's gonna be gone for a while.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Hi. How did I meet Digi? I was a fan, obviously. Like, I met him, we've been Snapchatting a lot, and there was, like, a whole week when we were Snapchatting where he wrote his light novel and, like, finished his anime album thing, and we, like, had stopped talking for a while, and then he, like, just messaged me on Discord, like, saying, hey, I'm coming up to visit you, like, is this day okay? And I'm like, sure. Then we hung out, and it's history from there. What's the fancy chair like? It's not as comfortable as I thought it would be. It's functional, I guess. So, what do you really think about Digi Conrad? What do I really think about him? Guys, these are like deep questions. He's gonna look back at this and be like, what are you doing, girl? I'm sorry if I'm a terrible host. Yeah. I don't really think I should be on this this live stream, but he really wants me to like get more comfortable in front of the camera, so I'm doing it for him. Yes, all of the terrible deeds, please, Mrs. Bro. He still doesn't brush his teeth. I don't know if that's a surprise, but it doesn't really bother me. But just as games typed a line. That's a nice line. What's my mal affinity with Digi? Don't really know what you're asking. My mal is not very impressive. I do not keep up with it at all, but I guess I have to now. Come back! What's my history with anime and my favorite shows? I've been watching anime from before I even knew I was watching anime. I think like most people my age, like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, all that crap. I stopped watching anime like in middle school because I tried to fit in, and you know how it goes. And I got back into it in college when I was like experimenting with who I was and stuff. My favorite shows are probably Ghost in a Shell, Standalone Complex, and Kaiba. I'm really into cyberpunk and like magical girl shit, and that's about it. I like cute girl shit. I like gore. I'm really into gory shit. You seem more comfortable on camera already as compared to the Ocha Cave exploration videos. Thank you. It's really hard because, like, Conrad is very experienced, and, like, I obviously am not going to have as much to say as he does. I don't know as much about anime as he does. Like, I feel like if I say too much, I'm going to say something stupid. Like, and I know I have said a lot of stupid things in the videos. They're kind of really hard to watch, but I'm impressed that I even got in front of the camera. If you were in Digi-Seat, could you have beat Mumkey at Yu-Gi-Oh? No, because he had a troll deck, and I wouldn't have been prepared for it. Like, my Yu-Gi-Oh knowledge does not, extend into the current era at all. Like, I would have all old-ass cards. Probably the same exact thing would happen, the same fate. My favorite song from Digi is probably Shallow. That's probably my favorite. Aw, you missed your response. How drunk was Digi after ISMA? He wasn't nearly as drunk as Monkey was. I was probably more drunk than he was, honestly. Yeah, it's difficult to really reach the level of Digi in pure quantity of talking. But that's because he's been doing it for like 5 years, yeah. You'll get used to it eventually, though. Yeah, I'm sure I will. It's weird, like, seeing yourself and, like, I don't know. Did Digi die? I just heard the toilet flush, so he's probably coming back. So hopefully you won't have to suffer through me anymore. Trying my best, guys.
Okay.
Hello.
Sorry it took so long.
You don't have to apologize to me. You have to apologize to your fans who had to listen to me.
How'd it go? Did you field any interesting questions?
I
Okay.
don't know how interesting I would say they were.
Alright. How many did you answer?
I answered most of them.
So you answered, are you ever going to go abroad?
No.
I think that's from
That
me.
was from before.
Yeah. Am I ever going to go abroad? Yes.
I'm going to Japan. I'm fucking leaving.
Our plan, our 5-year plan is be here until next May, so that she can graduate.
My degree.
Yeah, get her degree, graduate college. Have a a cool down period for your family to get used to the idea that you're leaving them behind. So that when we take off, it won't be too weird. And then we'll probably move to Atlanta, because that's where PCP headquarters is looking like it'll be. And then after a few years there, if we make a shitload of money, we're going to fuck off to Japan and live there for as long as seems reasonable. Like, maybe a year, maybe 5 years, maybe the rest of our lives if it turns out it's fucking awesome. Who knows? I don't know how easily you'll be able to get a job in Japan. But it depends on what you'll be doing in 5 years.
Yeah.
Or if I have so much money that you never need to work again.
I can sell water treatment pumps and be the Asian man at my dad's company, yeah.
Can you actually, like, are you qualified to do that?
There's no qualifications.
You just do it?
Yeah, you just fucking sell things. It's like a salesman job.
But your dad has a degree, right?
Not in, selling things.
Any couples Let's Plays in the works? Probably. That seems inevitable to me. Like, just the process of wanting to play video games at all. Which, not that I play many video games, like, but I'm excited at the prospect of getting to, because I think you'll actually watch me play video games, which no one else in the world is willing to do. Like, you gotta understand, like, if you watch Digibros, like, the only Let's Plays where I play the game is, like, the Soul Blazer one where it was a solo Let's Play. Like, there's a few solo Let's Plays I did, and then, like, maybe one where Brandon and Josh watched me play Lily Child of Geos, and they fucking hated it. And So no one's like the reason I never play on the show is just that Victor won't watch me play video games. He won't do it. He refuses. And so yeah, I've always wanted to have the chance to play games on the show, just never could. So it's possible that we'll actually play some games I like, you know, or games that, well, granted, we played all the games I like on DigiBros, because all I like is Zelda and Dark Souls. And we played all the Zelda and Dark Souls games, but, you know, some obscure games I like. Maybe we'll do a Chantilly's Let's Play, which there was like a 20-minute Chantilly's Let's Play at the very end of the Monkey All Night Let's Play, but it ended when the game was like glitched and I couldn't progress to the next thing, and I spent like 15 minutes trying to figure out what the fuck to do and then just giving up. So, wait, are you guys both Team GameCube? Dude, GameCube is the best of the motherfucking consoles of the 6th generation of the motherfucking consoles. If you haven't heard that song, that's on the Fart Knockers Anthem mixtape EP by Uncle Jesse 2.0. GameCube is the coolest of the motherfucking consoles of the 6th generation of the motherfucking consoles. I don't know, you're a Nintendo boy, right?
Word.
You've got a shitload of Nintendo powers in your house, as you
Yeah.
mentioned. So
Yeah, I have every single issue, I think.
oh my god,
Yeah.
like ever?
Since
Like
when
from
I
the
first
80s?
subscribed, not
Okay.
from the 80s, probably from like 97 onward.
Wow. That's impressive. That's like, I have like everything from like 97 to probably like 99 or something like that. You know, I've got a couple big stacks, but that's about it. But yes, we're both Team GameCube. Did you already answer how did you meet Digi?
Yes, I did, sort of. I just said we Snapchatted.
Well, you were a fan. That's the
Yes.
important.
Well, yeah. Well, how
part.
else would I meet you?
I don't know. Maybe at a coffee shop. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. I was just in Virginia Beach one day. Just like, oh, hi, you're cute. Oh, you're a YouTuber? That's cool.
Did you answer what the fancy chair is like?
Yeah.
What do you really think about Digi?
I didn't really answer that. I don't really know how I really think about you.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't think I've spent enough time, like, it hasn't really sunk in.
Yeah.
It's only been like a month and a half.
Yeah. Well, it's been 2 months.
Yeah, but
I came up on the 21st
True,
of
true.
May, so.
it's been 2 months.
Teach the lad to brush his chompers. She doesn't even care about my teeth. Foolishly. She probably should, because then one day they're all going to fall out, and then she'll care. She'll wish she did something
And you'll
about
get
it.
dentures, and you can take your teeth out. And,
There you go.
yeah.
Better for eating pussy.
Whoa.
True. I heard that. No, when I was like 11 or 12, I was listening. No, 14. I was listening to the radio, and they were on like some radio show, and this guy was talking about how he was like 21 years old, and he'd lost all his teeth, like he had some kind of bad gum disease or some shit. So he had dentures, and he said that whenever he was going down on a girl, he would pull them out.
Fucking nasty.
And
I wouldn't want your
apparently it's
gingivitis
great.
Infested gums.
Well, they're
like,
not gingivitis infested anymore. They're all fucking sealed up and.
yeah, but you would still have gingivitis in your gums. You can't just get. That's.
I think he has to use like a. You have to keep your mouth clean to use dentures. You have to like wash them with the special.
If you lost all your teeth, you're not going down on it.
Apparently, it feels better. Girls are way into it, according to that random guy on the radio. He said that chicks were way into it. Oh shit! What happened? You seem more comfortable on camera as compared to the Ota Cave exploration vids, just FYI. I mean, it's gotta happen. If you put somebody on camera enough, they get used to it. And she's been in live streams before. It's not her first rodeo. If you were in Digi's seat, could you have beat Monkey at Yu-Gi-Oh?
No.
Have you ever played Yu-Gi-Oh?
Like when I was 10.
Yeah. My deck was built when I was 10. That's why I lost. Anyone can beat Monkey at Yu-Gi-Oh. No, they can't.
No.
His deck is fucking impenetrable, man. You have to be like an actual Yu-Gi-Oh player to beat that deck. Favorite song Digi's done?
You said Shallow.
Yeah.
Still my favorite, even though there are songs about me.
Yeah. Well, Shallow was like... I feel like Shallow was what inspired you to contact me somehow.
It may have been.
Because I kept saying that I only wanted sexy girls, and you were like, "I'm sexy." I've met all the requisites. How drunk was Digi after insufferable social media argument?
I said not nearly as drunk as Monkey.
No, Monkey was
fucking obliterated.
That was one of the worst drunks. I mean, Monkey. Basically, if he either starts drinking too early or we start recording too late, he's too drunk. Like, because Sheepover is a big alcoholic and she makes his drinks and she gives him strong ass drinks. So she'll just leave him like 3 shots of vodka mixed drink or some shit. And he pounds them down and is dead by the time the show starts. I usually start drinking at the start of the show because I always forget that it's the night of the show. Yeah. So I try to chug the first beer right as we're starting, which is perfect because it gets me just the right level of drunk. So right when we get past the 15 minutes of top of the episode, then that's when I'm starting to feel it.
That's the cutest thing I've ever heard. What? One beer will get you just the right amount drunk.
Well, it's one beer and then I drink one before the show and then I'm drinking the second one throughout, you know. And it's not, I would say it's not drunk, but it is the right amount of buzzed, you know. I'm not. You can definitely outdrink me by a bit because you still got me beat on the sheer obscene. Yeah, it's difficult to really reach the level of Digi in pure quantity of talking, but that's because he's been doing it for 5 years on camera. You'll get used to it eventually, though. Yeah. I have. It's 5 years on camera. That sounds right. Not on camera, but the first thing I did was the Digibro Never Shuts Up podcast, which was November 2012. So we're getting close to 5 years. But I didn't start doing video. The first time I really was extensively talking on video was for a Q&A I did in the Pony days, and I was super nervous. I was talkative as I usually am, but I had Victor with me for the beginning because I tried to do it alone, and I was so shit at it that I just gave up. And I got Victor to read me the questions, and so I could just talk to him as opposed to talking right to the camera. But then by the time I had done it, I had to film the last part by myself, and by then I'd gotten used to talking on camera, so it went a lot more smoothly. It happens fast. It's really just an initial period of fear, especially if you're doing it alone. That's the hardest part, is trying to talk on camera by yourself, because you get constantly hung up about your appearance, you know. Yeah. But if there's somebody else, it's they can just look at him, you know. They don't have to look at me. They can look at him. He looks fine. I know he looks fine. You know, I feel we both do it to each other. When I was watching the video back, I'm oh, thank God she's pretty, because I look fucking horrible.
No.
But
that's great.
Yeah, we both look great. How much actually gets edited out for ISMA? Nothing. Nothing gets edited out. There's been one time that Monkey had to edit out a sentence that I was hey, maybe that should be cut, because it was something personal about a friend, you know, and I was that line shouldn't be in there. I don't know. I don't actually listen to them back, so maybe he cuts more than I realize, but they usually look they're all an hour. We record for an hour and we stop, and that's how long the videos are. You really think me or Monkey would cut anything? You know, two most outspoken motherfuckers on the internet. I get back from using the restroom, and Digi's using the restroom. I never thought about this, but are there any game journalists or analysts you follow, like Jim Sterling, perhaps? Game journalists and analysts, a shitload. I don't follow Jim Sterling, but I've seen a ton of his videos. Yahtzee Croshaw, I've always been a huge fan of. Not that he's really much of a journalist. Super Bunny Hop's my favorite. He's one of my favorite YouTubers in general. Matthew Matosis is one of my favorite YouTubers in general. Hyperbit Hero, fucking The Gaming Brit, Mr. B-Tongue, one of my top 5 favorite anime YouTubers in general. Not anime. I don't know why I just slipped anime in there into that sentence. Have I been saying that? No. Anyway, Mr. B-Tongue.
Just a Freudian slip.
Yeah.
Freudian. I can't talk.
And who else I follow that does games? Satchbags Goods. Just go through my subscriptions, and there's a shitload of video game channels, because there's way more people analyzing video games than there are people analyzing anime. Turbo Button, B-Mask. I could go on all day, I feel like. I want to do a finish or fail type thing. Any suggestion for a year or season to start with? One of the coolest finish or fail things I ever did, and I've wanted to bring it back, because I only did one show out of it, but I just wrote down every year, and I like wrote one anime from each year that was on my on hold list. I put all the years in a hat and rallied it up, and then the first one I got was like 19. Must have been 89 because I think that's when it was Nadia. Whatever year Nadia aired, that was the first show I watched. So I watched all of Nadia for that, and then I did not continue that series though. But I recommend that. Put a bunch of years in a hat or a randomizer or something. Okay. Laughter Style says, I was listening to the Gay and Dead BTS, and what you mean being gay means you're neurally atypical. No, that's not... I just thought it meant you weren't getting puss. It also meant that. Like, it meant a lot of different things, but, like, the way I see gay, like, is just about this idea of, like, it's something you understand. Like, we all know what a gay person is, but a gay person is not the standard thing for a person to be. You know, like, only a small percentage of the population is gay. So even though it's like, you know, it's like something identifiable, and it's definitely different, and it makes you feel different. If you're gay, you don't feel like a normal person necessarily, but it's being accepted now, so it's not like it's, you know, it's not like you're a total, like, freak. You're just something else. You're just not the norm, you know? So to me, like, that's kind of saying, like, I'm gay is, like, I feel connected with that kind of mindset and community. I don't know. I feel a lot of connection to the gay community because I know lots and lots of gay people, especially because of my brony days, which bronies are, like, probably 50% gay gay people, or just LGBTQ, at least. Zachary Roberts says you should check... Oh, he's responding to Zachary Roberts. Gotta get May to do some solo stuff then. Wait, maybe not. The fans might go ballistic. I don't know. Are you interested in doing solo stuff?
Maybe. We'll see.
I
could, like, make my own channel. If I do my own stuff, I don't really want it attached to you, you know?
Yeah. May has mentioned possibly having some anime analysis ideas. And I was talking about maybe ghostwriting them.
If I had a scripted video, I feel like it would be a lot easier to do. Like, speaking off the cuff is difficult in general, just like in conversation for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you took a whole class on or you, like, majored in public speaking for a while, so I imagine you know how to write a speech.
Yes. I love writing speeches and writing scripts and stuff.
Yeah, so I think you could probably do it. And I can just, like, fucking proofread that shit and be like, stamp of approval, baby. Or you can ghostwrite for me if you're a better writer than me. I haven't read any of your scripts yet. Wait, did you just drop a main channel video on the toilet? What the fuck? Did I? No, it's Victor and it's not me. Okay, false alarm. What did Victor drop while I was on the toilet? That would have been funny as shit. If both in the middle of a live stream and while taking a shit, I had just dropped a video. Whoa, Victor's got a haircut.
Whoa.
That is a weird haircut for him. Okay, I'll check that out later. Gay and Dead is sick as shit. I've been blasting it on the way to work and pulling up to the submarine with Bunker playing loud as fuck. Yes. Love the looks I get. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Fucking... I'm an evil man, bad, not good. Stomping through your hood like a bad man would. Stuffing all your chicks full of hard red wood. Chopping off the heads of the pure and good. Everybody hates me. I don't give a hoot. I'll pull your asshole out by the root. Swing you around in a poopy loop and then plant you into the ground like Baby Groot. Baby Groot. Oh, that's such a good song and album. Thank you for enjoying the album. Alright. These guys are still responding to that other guy. My favorite sound on Gay and Dead is literally the air conditioner turning on. That is it's a good one. I'm an ass man living in a trash can. Does anybody else think... You haven't seen Hunter x Hunter, have you?
I've seen a couple episodes.
You probably don't know the song then. There's this song that plays a lot in Hunter x Hunter, usually during exposition scenes, and it starts off with a drum roll almost identical to that one. Mm-hmm. It's just like... And, like, people who know the show will know what I'm talking about, but, like, every time I hear it, I think of that. But we did it even better, because ours goes right into a fucking amazing song. Is Guy's Anime Eternal thing a riff on Nino's anime editorial? I think it's more of a parody of like RC Anime and Under the Scope and just every anime YouTuber who does the like nerd writer style. You didn't see this video yet. Nate made this fucking he made a guest video on his channel by a guy named Anime Eternal, but it's just Nate. And the idea is just that it's incredibly pretentious and says nothing. So it's like 3 minutes of him just like kind of rambling about how smart he is while literally not analyzing anything or saying anything. And yeah, I think it's pretty clearly a parody of just like the anime YouTube sphere, because at the beginning he does one of those like logo wipe-ins, you know, that everyone does. So like, yeah, it's definitely a parody of that. But also, it's just weird. Like, it goes in an interesting direction. I legit laughed harder at that video than I have at any other video this month. Because I felt like it was, like, I was just the audience for that. Does Anime Eternal know the Hentai Samurai? Probably. Hentai Samurai is very well connected. Wait till you guys get to meet Hentai Samurai's been bringing home a girl lately. Every time he comes home into the furnace room where he now lives, stumbling with this bottle of sake, he's always got this floozy wench on his arm that he calls the Kunoichi Cockslut. And I think he's going to try to work her into his videos in the future. I don't know why he hasn't made a video in fucking 3 or 4 months. I don't know what he's been up to, but I'm sure he'll get around to it at some point. Have you recorded any more spring finish or fail, or have you put that on hold for a bit? We haven't recorded any more. I mean, it's not really a matter of putting it on hold so much as having anything else to do. Like, those take a lot of time.
Yeah.
It was impressive that we got that one done as quickly as we did, because we were just kind of like, I was like, baby, I have to get something out this week. Like, because she was on vacation, and we were just hanging out and, like, doing whatever the fuck we want. And, like, I was like, because you weren't working, so it was, like, literally next to me the entire week. And I was like, well,
I could have hung out with your mom if you wanted to, like.
you want to paint rocks? You want to go paint rocks with my mom?
Fucking rocks.
Well, I'd rather just do stuff with you.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, let's just watch anime, and that way we can make a video. And so that's why we did that. And then everyone was like, why'd you skip the winter season? And I was like, I don't know. It's just stuff. I don't think about this stuff. Like, people don't realize. I think people don't understand just how unplanned my videos are. Like, most of my vlogs really are like, I come up with them in the moment, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's pretty rare that I have one that's, like, meticulously planned. It's like with Finish or Fail, it never in its whole existence has it been, like, an extensively planned series. It's just, like, I sit down with a randomizer because I have time to kill and I'm bored and I feel like watching anime, and then I do it until I'm fucking sick of it, you know? With the exception of when I, like, ran through a ton of them at the start of the year because I wanted to make that top 20 anime 2016 video. But they really are completely random in any other context. So, basically, yeah, we wanted to watch anime, so we did a Finish or Fail. If we do another one, it'll be for the same reason. Though right now I'm more interested in doing the Ota Cave Expedition because it's just such a cool idea, and the first one came out great, I thought. And we got to watch Fancy Lala, which is cool. Yeah. We might finish Fancy Lala sometime.
We have to. I really want to.
We could just, you know, drop Kiraminzu and pick up Fancy Lala, possibly. I don't want to drop Kiraminzu,
I don't want to either, but
it's hard.
I'm definitely not in the mood to just sit through filler episodes.
No, I'm tempted to, like, just skip. Well, I think we did. Yeah, with the last episode we watched, I just scanned through, like, the last half because I was like, this is not going anywhere, and I totally forgot I did that. It's not a good place for a show to be in. The Anime Eternal video was beautiful, I agree. Oh no, not another YouTuber pushing their GF into a video. He says this like this late in. Yeah. Is the comment hate to GFs the new YouTube meme? I think it mostly, in my case, is because I shat on Jeff so much for it. So I totally get what. Although there's a lot of people who are just legitimately like, "Oh, fuck you for having a GF in there," but those people are just like weird incels or whatever. But people making fun of me for calling out Jeff is totally fair. Not granted, I will defend
my putting you in the video because I didn't do it the way Jeff did. And I could go on and on about how Jeff did it wrong and I did it right. But I understand why this is a hilarious meme that literally, like, the day before that, I finally released this video from months ago where I rag on Jeff for, like, 10 minutes about his girlfriend. But the stuff I was ragging on him for that was, like, I wasn't just ragging on him for putting her in his videos. I was ragging on him for wanting to bring her to RadCon, like, 2 weeks after they started dating.
Yeah.
To a house full of 9 guys who are all best friends, you know? And Jeff, who we already barely know, wants to bring his girlfriend. And we're just like, no, no. It would have been different if anyone else. Like, if Jesse had wanted to bring Boozy Floozy, it would have been like, maybe. They've been dating a little longer. Jesse's a core member of the group. We'd seen her in videos before, you know. Jesse did it right. He introduced her into video, and he totally regrets that he has ever put her in videos at all, because he tries to keep his personal life distant.
Yeah.
But, you know, he started off with her in his fucking beer review videos, and they would just sit there and review beers, and it was hilarious and adorable. And then she was in the panel cast, and she was great in that because she knows lots of shit about comics. She runs comic stores, so and she keeps him on track, so that was good. You know, Ben and Jackie's College Fund is a good channel because they made a whole separate channel just for them doing stuff together, and they're fun videos. So, yeah, there's lots of ways to involve your girlfriend and do it right. Jeff did not do it that way. Jeff's method of involving his girlfriend is to constantly brag about having a girlfriend and make fun of you for not having a girlfriend. I've never even mentioned that you're my girlfriend in any of the videos we've done together. Like, it's obvious in this live stream. And, I mean, it is obvious, but I've never been like, oh, look at my girlfriend. Ooh, isn't she hot? You know? Look at her wearing my t-shirt that's with the fucking tight on her titties and shit. You were the one who told me about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, we just really like making fun of Jeff. Did you know that Fancy Lala was co-produced by Kyoto Animation? I did not know that. I learned a bunch of stuff about it in the comments. Like, I guess the show was not technically completed, or it was like canceled. Like, it was supposed to go for 50, but it just didn't have the ratings, so they just kind of, you know, wrapped it up as fast as they could, and we're like, all right, it's over. Yeah, it's really good. Well, hopefully we'll finish it. I'm in a way, I'm glad it was canceled because it's only 26 episodes. We don't have to watch 50. Wait, does every member of the PCB have a girlfriend? I just realized this. No, Hippo still does not. Tom doesn't, as far as any of us know. I mean, he hasn't been talking much lately. And Tom is totally the type who would just have a girlfriend and not mention it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I doubt he does. I feel like it would have come up. He's had his girlfriends in videos before. Like, some of his ex-girlfriends have been in videos. Munchie doesn't have a girlfriend yet. But I don't think he's going to have a girlfriend, but he will have sex by the end of the year. Munchie is going to get laid before the year is out. I don't know if he's going to have a girlfriend, though. I can't see him having a girlfriend. And Nate doesn't technically have a girlfriend. He's got a, like, girlfriend, but not a girlfriend, because he doesn't like those terms and he doesn't want to define it that way, I guess. So, you know. He's got a girl he's having sex with, but I guess she's not his girlfriend. So it's just really me, Jesse, Ben. Who else is in the PC? Monkey. I'm missing like 3 guys. Oh, Mage, who lives with her boyfriend. Let me just open up Discord and see who I haven't named yet. Who am I forgetting here? That is not the procrastinators. Oh, the Devu. Yeah, he's got a girlfriend who is now living with him in his parents' house. Looks like I named everybody. I must have just counted wrong. Oh, I didn't count myself. That's why. I never do. I always forget that. So, yeah. Yeah, most of us have girlfriends. Devu might involve his girlfriend because they might do Nest Quest. Have you ever seen or heard of Nest Quest? Devu had this show called Nest Quest where it was supposed to be they were going to play every NES game.
Whoa.
Like he was just going through them like in alphabetical order and playing all of them, and or no, it was in order of release date. They were going through them all in order of release, and he was just trying to come. But they're not beating them all. They're just like playing them for as long as it's interesting, and then giving up. But he was doing it with his little brother and someone else, like a friend of his, who for the first like 22 episodes are terrible co-hosts because they're clearly not interested and don't give a shit and are just like having conversations with each other and joking while he's like trying to actually let's play. And then at some point it finally becomes like a show, but by then it's like, well, now you have to sit through like 22 episodes of shit to get to the good part. And even then, like, his brother was such an unreliable co-host that he just didn't keep it up. So eventually he was saying that he might just restart the whole thing from the beginning and do it with his girlfriend and see how that goes. Did I watch Roddy Fuckers Cop Colors Frog Fractions 2? Any thoughts? I did. I just watched that like yesterday. It was a fun time. I mean, the PCP guys all talk about shit like that constantly, like where we're all gonna go and who's best pals with who, and like it's just a gay fest. Like the PCP chat is always in one of two modes. It's either bro, I love you, bro, you're my best friend, bro, or it's fuck you, I hate you, die, how dare you be wrong, I will kill you. Those are the only two modes that it has. There's no chill in the PCP chat. From your own experience, how many hours is too many driving hours to see a significant other? Totally not asking for myself. More than a day. If you can drive there in a day, it's worth it. If it takes more than a day, if you have to take time off of work, well, I don't know. I mean, how into them are you? Like, are you saying like, God, motherfucking weed whackers. Like, we lived 10-hour drive apart at minimum. So I just said we have to live together. Like, we can't, neither of us was willing to have an online relationship.
I was not gonna fuck up long distance.
No. Like, basically, I came to her house and we didn't know what it was going to be. We didn't really even know each other that well. And, like, either it was going to be we fucked and we didn't like each other and I left, or it was going to be we thought each other were kind of cool, but whatever, I guess we'll do this every so many months and that'll be our relationship, or we're going to totally fall for each other and we're going to move into a place. Like, there was no option where it was, oh, every month I'll drive up to your place and hang out for a couple days. Like, no, that sucks. That's shit. So, like, basically, the second I fell in love with her was the second it was decided we were living together. and the rest is history. I don't have any more questions, so we're going to go to the Patreon questions. I think it's just all these ones from Carlos Frigo, but they are quite long. All right. His first question is, oh, Jesus. In relation to many of the vlogs that you've been doing recently, especially Difficulty Begets Hot-Blooded Fandoms, it's pretty obvious that you realize that the same types of fandoms that you criticize are the same as the fandoms and obsessions that you're a part of, those being anime, music, writing, or more. It's pretty easy to tell that you yourself know that you're part of those butthurt fandoms and that you've developed a very emotional approach to outsiders' opinions. That just like you did to lo-fi hip-hop with your Writing the Zeitgeist video, and many people who aren't into anime try to describe or make videos about anime that you feel as though they simply don't get it. This anchors back to a question I did on your first live stream, which was, is it a good idea to shape anime into much broader mass appeal? In which you answered that instead of trying to make anime appealing to everyone, to try to make everyone interested in anime in a way that's welcoming and sparks their interest. This can be applied to make hardcore fandoms less intense and allow them to accept the thoughts of those that aren't a part of their little circle. Do you think that this mindset can be used to cure fandom hysteria and to allow more people to accept outsider opinion more openly? Do you think such a change in mindset is possible, seeing as they're already so closed off? That was so long, I kind of lost track of what exactly the question was, but I mean, I don't know what I want these things to be doing. I just made this long-ass video called The Meta Hole that's going to come out today. After this live stream and the probably hours-long upload that it'll have, in which I basically expressed the idea that I'm sick of the open internet. I'm sick of like trying to have everyone in one place and like constantly trying to get new people into the fold, and like everyone's like this kind of all-inclusive nature of the internet. I kind of want to go into a smaller fucking safe space with my fans and like fuck off and not invite new people. Like, not that new people can't come, but that like I kind of want us to go back to having these more almost tribal you know, like I feel like when people say tribalism, they're thinking like warring tribes, but I don't want to be at war with anybody. I just want to be in like a cozy village in the middle of the mountains where everybody knows each other and gets along and no one fucks with it, you know? I guess I'm describing like the libertarian ideal, basically, like, so I guess that's what I want, but like, you know, I'm sick of this world where we're constantly worried about bringing more people into the thing we like, and like, oh, we gotta invite everybody and keep it, you know, that way. Like, I don't know, keep it alive as long as there's people who want to do it and do it the way that we want to do it, and then if we all die out, then it's dead and it's gone. We don't have to preserve everything, and preserving it's just gonna mutate it anyway, so it won't be the thing it originally was. I don't know. There's a lot I could say about this. I say a lot in this meta whole video, and there's a lot more I could say as I keep thinking about it, because it's definitely on my mind right now. But, yeah. This guy says, the longest I've driven is 5 hours to stay for the day, then leave the next day. Yeah, the longest I had ever driven was like 2.5 hours before the Atlanta trip, where I drove 9 fucking hours each way. And then... yeah, that basically broke the seal because it was easy. Like, I built it up in my head that driving for a really long time would be hard, but once I'd done it and found it to be not that difficult, that's why I did this whole driving around the U.S. thing, because I was like, I can drive 4 hours, no problem, which was not entirely true. In Fallen to Pieces, you say, I don't know how else to be and no one else is stopping me. And then you say, I guess fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, I don't need you to tell me what I can't do. Is there a reason behind this apparent contradiction? Those are different, those aren't one after another. It's, I don't know how else to be and no one else is stopping me. I get frustrated stating that I hate it, but still getting berated and told that I am overrated. Well, I guess fuck you, and fuck you, I don't need you to tell me what I can't do. Which is referring to people telling me that my shit is bad, essentially. Like, I'm saying that even though I'm saying that I hate this thing I've done, people are still berating me and telling me that it's shit, even though I've already said that. So I'm like, well, fuck you then. You know, I don't need you to tell me when my shit's bad. I know when it's bad. I don't need you to tell me what I can and can't do. I know what I can and can't do. As for nobody stopping me, it's not that I want people to tell me, like, oh, your shit's bad, you should stop. I want people to give me something else to do, which this person here has thankfully given me something else to do other than work literally constantly. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was basically the mindset I've had has been like since late last year was I either need a hobby or a girlfriend. Like, one or the other can do this. And the problem with getting a hobby is that all my hobbies end up tied into my work. Because if I find something I'm interested in, I'm going to make videos about it, you know. And I had wanted to make video games my hobby because I resigned myself, like, I don't have to make videos about video games. I can just play them and have fun. Everyone else already talks about every game. Let me just play video games. Problem is, never did it. I made that plan back in January. Here's how many video games I've played since January. 0. So, yeah, getting a girlfriend worked out a lot better. Neutering shit down so it's more appealing to more people kills that shit. Yeah, it can. I mean, the best part about that is that when people get into something a little weird, it then opens the gate for them to get into something more weird, you know? Linkin Park, very broadly appealing band, but it's a rock band, and not everyone listens to rock. Like, when I was into nu metal as a kid, I mean, nu metal was obscenely popular. It was a big movement at the time, but from the perspective of me, a 8-year-old who doesn't have the internet and isn't talking to people on like a global scale, all I have is the kids around me who listen to pop radio. and all of them think new metal sounds fucking horrifying. You know, I tried to play Slipknot for a friend of mine once, and he was like disgusted. So, you know, from my perspective, I was listening to weird shit. So as I grew older and I figured out that it wasn't that weird and there was weirder shit, I kept listening to weirder shit, you know. So I do think those things can be good gateways, but it can, you know, it can, sadly, the original can eventually die. But, you know, that's fine. It lived when it did. I don't completely understand the need to, like, preserve everything forever. Like, it existed at this time. You don't need the same thing again. Like how long does death metal need to be alive? You know, like, death metal spawns all these subgenres that aren't death metal anymore, and like those are interesting and new, and they have new things to say. But like original death metal, how many times can we iterate on it before it's just like we've done it all? We've explored the whole concept of death metal. We don't need it anymore. You know, maybe it's okay if it dies. Anyway. The smaller localized groups is my perception of the internet majority. I only talk to people in 2 small Discord and Telegram groups. Yeah, this is also something I bring up in my meta hole video. After I go on a long rant about how the internet is too centralized, I then break it off and go, well, maybe it's just for me because I have to be a YouTuber. So I have to be in a central hub where as many people see me as possible just to grow and make money. But like, I should, like, mentality-wise, I should be in a small, tight-knit community, which is why we do these Patreon-exclusive live streams. This is what I want. Like, being able to talk to just, like, my close fans who I feel like get me and we can have interesting, intimate conversations, as opposed to the fucking hellscape that is the YouTube comments on some of my recent videos. So, you know, I'm strongly considering making a Digibro Discord group, which I've been meaning, I've wanted to do for a long time. The only reason I haven't is that I don't want to have to moderate it, and I don't want to have to appoint moderators, because I know there's going to be trolls in there. I know Vita's going to show up and try to shit up the place. I know it'll happen. So, I mean, it'll probably be patron exclusive, but I'll probably make it like $1 tier, you know, so everybody's in, which is not hard for trolls to get in. They'll pay $1 to fuck with people, but, you know, I'll try to get some moderators in there. Alright. Okay. Also, large fandoms always suck ass, Lamau. Look at the anime fandom. Well, normies, get out. Ugh. Do you have any lyrical ideas for your next album yet? I do. For Well Laid and Well Paid. I've got lyrics such as Maslow Get Blown the Fuck Out, which is going to be the first track, I think. It's going to be all about conquering Maslow's hierarchy of needs. There's going to be a song called Big Weed, produced by Blind Skywatcher. We had that idea while I was at his place because we were smoking weed constantly. And I think the melody to that song might be Big, 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 Big Weed. So look forward to that. I think I had another one. Oh, fuck. There's definitely going to be some ass-related songs. I can't remember the one that I had an idea for a little while back, but Maslow Get Blown the Fuck Out is the most important one. I have to say, after that Gay and Dead behind-the-scenes video, Blind Skywatcher is now like my second favorite non-PCP member of the extended Digibro universe, first being most interesting human cider, obviously. Yeah, Blind Skywatcher is a pretty cool guy. I'd love it if he did more, like, talking stuff, because he has a great voice, a great sense of humor. The way he talks has a lot of impact. Like, he says things with a very visceral, like, impact to them. Granted, he was fucking baked off of his ass when we did that video, so he was a little slower than he usually is, but, yeah, me and him should probably do some podcasts or something. I just gotta find something for us to talk about. Like, maybe the next time a Death Grips album comes out or some shit, we'll do a podcast about it. But he's mad cool. What are your thoughts on Karigurashi Arieti? I have a video about it, about the Secret World of Arieti. I released in, like, 2014, October. So just, like, search Digibro Arieti and you should find it. Love it. One of my favorite anime movies. I'm one of those guys who hated nu metal with a passion, even as a young guy. Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, you might have been a metalhead because metalheads hated new metal at the time. I mean, I just grew up on it. It was the first shit I heard. You know, like I grew up on rock radio, and all my parents' bands, and like, you know, I grew up on like Green Day and Sublime and like stuff like that, and just whatever was on the radio. But like Linkin Park was the first band that was my band. I was like 9, and One Step Closer came on the radio for the first time, and that shit blew my mind to fuck. And so like I needed that album, and once I had it, I listened to it hundreds of times. So I'd say I got into other new metal stuff just because it was kind of adjacent to Linkin Park. You know, Disturbed, Slipknot, Static X, those good old boys. Most people don't like having to try new things, so having their favorite genre die is a big deal. That's fair. I mean, you have those albums, you know, like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I guess a lot of people just like everything in a genre, and I'm not like that, you know. Some people can hear, like, 10 identical heavy metal albums and love them all equally. For me, I always find like my favorite, and that's the only one I need. Like if I have a favorite album for every emotion, sort of. You know, there's a lot of music I will pass over because I already have a better album that does the same emotion, and you know, why listen to both? Like I feel like I don't listen to any power metal besides Galnerius' album Resurrection, and even then I will often pass up that for Anna Monoguchi's Endless Fantasy because it's very similar feels. So yeah, well, not a lot of pop media stays the same. There's always an evolution of entertainment as the years go by. The thing that might be weird right now may become super popular in the next 2 years. That is true. You never know what'll blow up, but I think it's rare that something blows up and then stays weird, you know. Occasionally something legitimately weird blows up. Like Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd is a fucking weird album. That's like the best-selling album of all time, you know. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if that's just what like was going on at the time, but no other Pink Floyd album is like that hugely popular. I mean, some of them are, but like it's funny too because Pink Floyd is regarded as like one of the greatest bands of all time, and they're from that era. But like there was tons of other bands that basically sounded like them that didn't get big, you know, or just didn't have the survivability just because they were the biggest one. You know, there's not a huge amount of people talking about fucking Gentle Giant. I think that's the name of the band. Or is it Giant Squid? What is the fucking band? You guys know what I'm talking about. No, you don't. But you will one day when you're older. What's up with the pub crawl anyways? It should come back tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow's Monday. We record on Mondays at like 11. You can be on if you want or listen in.
I'll probably listen. I really don't think I want to be on it.
The pub crawl is the loosest show in terms of guests. Like it's literally whoever wants to be on the show is on the show for the most part. But we should be resurrecting it tomorrow. I just haven't done it because I've been on the road, and pub crawl is by far the lowest priority content that I'm involved with. Bedroom Bedrock's aesthetic is really fucking weird. I don't know why I didn't notice until after listening to Gay and Dead and Emotional Anime Raps 30 times, but BB is really peculiar and interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's largely because it's fucking amateurish. Like, Shade's beats are fucking weird, and my production is fucking awful. Because Shade beats are weird because he doesn't know music theory, so he just throws together whatever sounds he likes and posts it, and, like, none of it was made with any cohesion. There was no, like... It's not like I was picky and choosy about what beats made it on the album. It was like anything Shade made that I could rap over was gonna be on Bedroom Bedrock, you know. And then I mixed it all horribly because I had no idea what I was doing. So like, you know, with Gay and Dead, there was much more selectiveness. It was like these are the kinds of songs that are supposed to be on Gay and Dead, and that's what we made. So it's not quite as like totally eclectic as Bedroom Bedrock is, where you've got like Actualize, which is just like a desert old school beat that comes right before Get Action, which is just like this super glitzy electronic shit. Yeah, or it comes actually right before White Nigga, which is also very glitzy electronic. Yeah. Do you think you will feature any other guests on your next album besides Endless Jess? I don't know if I'll feature anybody on the next album. I might. I could probably feature Endless Jess just because he can do any atmosphere or style. Like, you just put something in front of him and be like, here's the attitude of the song, and he can do it. So I'm sure he can find it in him to be well laid and well paid, even if he is living in an underground bunker. I mean, depending on how long this album's in production, maybe he'll have moved out of his house by the time I need him to record verses for me, and then he'll be able to truly capture the well-laid and well-paid feeling. But yeah, I mean, the only rappers I really know are like that I have on call are Endless Jess and Nino, and Nino's less reliable, and you know, I would only really select him for like projects that I'm still waiting for his fucking album to come out, which I have to re-record my verse for. But yeah, Breakfast with Weeaboos has been in production for like 2 fucking years. I've released like 10 albums in the time that he's been working on that one. Have you ever felt? Oh, by the way, Well Laid and Well Paid may not be the next music release from me. I might do like random EPs, such like in the vein of emotional anime raps in the meantime. Because I want Well Laid and Well Paid to be a big, ambitious project. Did you ever felt your inner weeb lord powers tempting you to buy a katana? Yes, every day. Did you ever want a sword?
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was 13, all I wanted was a sword. All I wanted was a fucking katana. And my mom, for a little while, worked at this store called Fantasy that sold a bunch of fucking swords. But she wouldn't let me have one because Shade was a little kid and she was afraid he'd get into it, which he wouldn't have. But, you know, whatever. Better safe than sorry. And I was too cheap to buy the kendo swords, like, because I always saw it as like, oh, it's $25. It's the same cost as an anime DVD. So,
Yeah.
you know, I got to buy the anime DVD instead. And if I do buy that, it's just like, I don't know. Maybe I felt like I'd never buy a sword if I got one of those. But we do have a few shitty katanas laying around that are like we have a pair. None of them are here in this house, but like we had a pair of the super short ones, like 2 in a set of like what would be 3, but one has a broken handle and they're both garbage. And then I had one that was this rusty, ancient one that I just, like, found in the grass or something like that. Or, like, I think Victor picked it up from a yard sale, and it was just, like, it was dirty and shitty. But, you know, it was fun to play with. That was probably the one I swung around the most in my late teens, early 20s, hitting trees with it and shit. And I feel like there was another one that broke or something. They're all shit and broken now, so, yeah. They're all gone, but... yeah, I've considered it, you know, but why would I? Because if I'm going to get it, like, now I'm at the age where it's like, if I get a katana, it's going to be a real one, not like a $70 one. It's going to be like a $300 one that's, like, folded 80 times or some shit like that. So, you know, it's one I could actually, like, cut through something with. But why would I ever need that? By the way, you still interested in music recommendations? Possibly. I listened to that one you sent me the other day, and it was pretty alright. Fuck Yeah, Gentle Giant, that's one with, like, the one that's, like, intense on the vocals. Probably. They do have vocals. Do they feel intense? Yeah, probably. I have not listened to a whole lot of Gentle Giant. In the Fart Knockers Anthem EP, you said that you were looking for an RV, so you went on Pornhub and looked it up, and there was a chick doing it on the front seat. Was that just made up for the album, or is that actually the hilarious truth? That is absolutely the truth. When I was, like, determined that I was going to get an RV, I went and, like, I don't know, just to get off on the idea of my RV, I went and looked up, like, RV porn, of which there was not much. There was a couple that were okay, but the most insane one that I found, and the first one I found, is like a 5-person orgy in an RV.
Holy
and the
shit.
thing is, like, RVs on the inside are way bigger than anyone realizes. Like, once you're actually in one, you're like, holy shit, this is a house on wheels. You know, like, they are huge. So you can fit a lot of people in there. So what they were doing is there was a guy driving the RV. They were, like, on the interstate, and they had a chick on the dashboard, like, with another chick, like, fucking fisting her and shit, and, like, all these dudes jacking off all over the place. It was like a big-ass orgy in this RV. Look it up. I think it was on Tube 8, which is my go-to porn site. So just like type RV porn and you'll find that video. It's fucking intense. Have you ever considered making more videos with Anthony Fantano? I recently watched your podcast with him and you two made an interesting combo. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I mean, if he has anything in mind to do. We also did a review of Baby Metal together, if you missed that. But that was like 45 minutes long. I'd love to do more with Fantano. I don't know if he requires anything. Like, I don't really do a lot of collabs with people because to me it's like you have to have the right thing. Like with Baby Metal, he tweeted that he was going to review Baby Metal and I was like, put me in, coach. This is my fucking field, you know. So we did that. But like if I don't have a topic, like something I think he and I could do well together. Like I would love to do Death Grips with him, but he has other people he does Death Grips collabs with. You know, he collabs with a lot of people who are more music-centric, like fucking Dead End Hip Hop or Frank JFC. But I'd love to get me and Fantano and Frank JFC all into one podcast together. That's my dream. And maybe it'll happen when me and Frank start collabing. If Frank, returns my calls. Having an actual sword is still cool. $60 not wasted. Well, if it's $60, it's not like an actual sword. That thing will break if you try to cut something with it. You fools, swords will fucking cut you wide open. Yeah, that is true. You shouldn't fuck with swords. Do you think Jess will ever make an album of his own, or has he already made one and I just don't know about it? Jesse is literally working on 6 albums right now, all at the same time. He has been trying to get an album made for longer than his YouTube channel has existed, and they're all concept albums in an evolving story. There's like Space is the Place, So Disgusting, and then like a bunch of others, and each one has its own like vibe. So sometimes he'll write a song that only fits on one of the albums, and he has to like figure out which one it fits on, and like yeah, so he's like literally constructing all of them at once. And his big plan right now is to finish off well, I shouldn't say too much, but he's gonna try to put out the albums probably by the end of the year, at least the first one. Mine's real folded steel and whatnot, and it's easily the coolest thing on my desk. It's on your desk? You have a fucking sword on your desk? How big is your desk? Make him review Coheed. I've yet to see him talk about them besides passing thoughts on recent albums. I mean, he doesn't review old albums. That's the thing about Fantano. He only does new music unless it's for Classics Week because new music is topical and interesting, and he just doesn't want to cover old albums because then you can go down that rabbit hole forever. And yeah, he said of Coheed that he hadn't heard anything exciting from them since he was in college or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I agree. They haven't made a good album in 10 years, so I don't blame you. Yeah, I wouldn't talk about Coheed if not for the fact that I'm fucking obsessed with the narrative of their going downhill. What was the name of his go-to porn site? Tube8. It's Tube and the number 8. I mean, it's no better than any other, but it's just the one that I use because I like the aesthetic of it. Really, my go-to is the Big List of Porn, tblop.com, which lists literally every porn website and resource findable on the internet, and it's fucking great. It's got a list of like every porn subreddit, every like image board, and fucking Tumblr, everything. So if you need to find any specific porn, you go to TBLOP. On the Vu Strawman channel, Wolf666911lol, he has a playlist called Digibros 10 out of 10 Reviews. Have you seen it before? Yeah, he's been maintaining that for a long time. It's just a list of all my videos where I gave a 10 out of 10. He created that for the ending of the Sword Art Online 2 Your Anime Sucks video. Because at the very end, I say like, hey, if you want to hear about anime I actually like, here's a bunch of videos where I gave shows a 10 out of 10. Like, see, I like anime, guys. And he made that playlist for that reason. Since you are a real American fighting for the rights of every man, have you ever been shooting? I have. I went shooting for a friend's birthday at a shooting range over a pawn shop in my town. And I, of course, wanted to fire a .45 Magnum because I tend to write characters who use a 45 Magnum because I think it's a giant gun. It's super cool. It's the biggest handgun. So I was like, I want to know what it's like to fire one for the sake of writing my characters. Terrifying. And difficult to load. Like, loading bullets into the fucking cartridge or whatever. I don't know if it's called a cartridge, but loading bullets into the cartridge hurts because they're huge bullets and you have to like slam them in there and scrape your fingers on the fucking shit. And you know, it has like 13 bullets and they're huge, and the kickback on the gun is fucking intense, and it's louder than God's fucking closing his car door. So yeah, it's intense. It was rather expensive of an experience just to like literally shoot a gun a whole bunch of times and be scared. But I'm glad I got to do it at least once. And I would do it again, but not if I had to pay for it. It's not really worth it. Have you recorded any more finish or fail videos since the last one? No, not yet. So, when are you going to get your girlfriend into House of Leaves, please? When I want her off of my back for 2 weeks so she can read this book. I don't know. Do you know about House of Leaves?
Yeah, you told me about it before.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's just really long. I don't know, like, I'm not yet ready to start like handing her things that will take her away from me for a long time. She's been trying
read
to.
them to me.
You've been trying to finish this book you
Yeah,
bought at the airport
it's this tiny
for
fucking
weeks.
book. Where is it?
No, it's over. I think it's under the week.
Probably. I fucking bought this book at the airport. It's this one. It's about fucking a girl who is in a cult and gets fucking raped by some weird guy. It's pretty good. But I read like half of it on the plane, and it's been 2 weeks and I've only read like 3 pages.
Whoa. I've seen you open this book like 10 times.
Yeah,
and you've made no progress.
No,
You're not
I'm
even
a really
halfway through.
slow reader. This is mostly what I read on the plane, but
yeah. So yeah, like I'm not exactly gonna be like, here, have this. Let me show. Have you seen what House of Leaves looks like?
Show me.
It's it's great. It's on the bottom of my bookshelf, but you see it right here. It's a tome. It's a bit of a tome.
Yeah.
I spent like probably 4.5 days reading that, like 6 hours a day.
I love reading, so just let me finish this book and then this fucking Stephen King book that I'm also simultaneously reading.
And then you can jump into the entire library of manga.
I'm really excited.
Yeah. We had this beautiful moment when we were packing my room where she realized that she was inheriting my whole collection of awesome manga.
Library.
That's how I got the idea for the Ode to Cave Expedition, was like, you were talking about how curious you were about all the stuff I have. Because when we were packing boxes, she was like literally getting distracted, just like looking at stuff and being like, whoa, what's this? This looks awesome. Like flipping through art books, and I was like, this is perfect. Like, that level of curiosity is how I'm going to finally watch all this bullshit that I have, you know. So that's kind of how the concept came to be. What did you think of Soul Brother number 3? I got into his videos via the Ouija drama. I've never heard of him. Never heard of him at all. Did you like No World for Tomorrow? It's been some time since I've seen your video on Coheed. Yeah, I love No World for Tomorrow. That's like my second favorite Coheed album after the Second Stage Turbine Blade. Although, I don't know. I'm kind of divided between No World for Tomorrow and Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3. But No World Tomorrow has fucking Gravemakers and Gunslingers, which, as May can attest to, every time it comes on, I flip shit. You know the one I'm talking about. Baby, be my lover, go on, pull that trigger. That was like, that song got me through the last 2 hours of the drive. The 12-hour drive, like, there was all these moments where I'd be like dying, and then a song would come on and I'd be like, oh, okay, at least I can listen to this song. But like, we're literally 10 hours in. We just got into New York. I'm like minimum livelihood. That song comes on and I'm just like, ah! Flying down the fucking highway. I know you aren't into cars at all, Digi, but what about May?
No.
one of the things she finds attractive about me is that I'm not into cars.
Growing up, my dad was very into like IndyCar and Champ Car, and he was like actually a professional blogger. Like he would.
Oh yeah, I
He
keep
would
forgetting
follow
your
the
dad was a
fucking-
fucking pro blogger.
Yeah, open wheeler. Fucking go to Urban Dictionary. There's a fucking article about my dad. So he would like always drag me along to a bunch of races. I used to live in Allentown, PA, and there was a racetrack there. So I grew up around like race cars and shit. And my mom is a car salesman, so I hear about cars all the time. But I frankly don't give a shit. I don't even have my license. Like,
Yeah.
But
yeah, if you cared about cars,
yeah,
you probably
I
would
would
have
probably
taken care of that at
try.
like 16, you know.
no, I give zero fucks about cars.
Yeah. Are you still working on the Studio Shaft project? Do you think you'll put out another video about it this year? Maybe. I've got a lot of plans for what I'm going to do in August, and Devu was telling me that he rewatched the Shinbo videos and really wants us to continue the Shaft project after August, so maybe I'll do the same. Rewatch the Shinbo videos and see how inspired it makes me, because I'd love to get them done. It's just, you know, it's just the work. It's just that it's work. Yeah, ever gonna get the tolerance to watch every Shin Onuma show? Like, I mean, he has a lot of good ones, but he has a lot of mediocre and bad ones. But, you know, that's what the fast forward button is for. I can watch them in double speed if I have to. I got the Spice and Wolf Collector's Edition novel for my birthday. It is literally going to take me a year to read it at the speed that I read. Hey, I have been reading Volume 1 of Spice and Wolf since it was published in 2010, I think. I read like I didn't even read a chapter. I read the prologue.
Yeah, that's
And
about how
it's-
far I got it.
Oh, you have Spice
Yeah,
and Wolf as well?
I don't have it. I downloaded it on my phone. I downloaded
I
a
see.
PDF, and I was like, I'm gonna start reading light novels, guys. No.
That's been for a long time, my policy on why I stopped buying light novels was I can't buy any new ones till I read Spice and Wolf. And then I abolished that policy because they started releasing all this new shit. Log Horizon was coming out, Bakano, and I bought a bunch of that. And now my policy is not buying any more light novels until I read the 2 volumes of that I have and haven't read. Volumes 3 through 4 of Log Horizon that I own and haven't read. 2 through 4, I mean. The Bake Monogatari and Kizu Monogatari, which I haven't read. What other light novel did I buy in the last year that I haven't read? The 3 volumes of Sword Art Online Progressive that I made it through half of Volume 1 and gave up. A Certain Magical Index, I'm like a chapter or 2 into. Bakano I read like a chapter of. And ReZero was sent to me in the mail, so I feel no obligation towards it.
Good.
Zara Goto I never finished. Asura Girl, which I only read a chapter of, even though it was really good and interesting and cool. So, yeah. I don't even remember what question I was answering there. I just got into a self-defeat hole. Oh, the Spice and Wolf thing. It wasn't even a question. He was just, like, stating that. Justice and Murder and Mother Superior are among my favorite songs ever. Funny you say that. Those are 2 of my less favorite songs on the album. They're still great. Justice and Murder has always been a weird chorus to me. Like, just, there will be justice and murder. A little weird. And Mother Superior, I don't know. They're both good songs. I'm gonna compile a little music recommendation list for you. Are Spotify links okay? Yes, Spotify should work. I mean, not if I have to have the app. If you have like Spotify web app, then that's fine. But will you be continuing Manga Mondays? Yes. Not only is there a Manga Mondays embedded in the video that I'm going to be putting out today called The Meta Hole, which is an hour of who knows what, but also I'm going to bring it back officially tomorrow, hopefully. I'll probably finish that manga I was just reading while taking a shit, because it was pretty good. Okay. In Heat Death, you say, I'm only scared that I will cry right through the final scene and that I will be moved. Why is that something to be scared of, or am I missing something? Because it's scary to feel things. It's scary to be like, to be emotionally affected by something. So yeah, I'm afraid that I will cry right through the final scenes, that it will move me, and I'll be fucking a wreck. You know, I have a tendency to put off like watching emotional stuff if there's something non-emotional I can watch. Like, you know, I still haven't watched the movie Her because both Victor and Hope, it's their favorite movie, and they talk about it all the time, but, like, the impression I've gotten is that it will leave me an emotional wreck afterwards. Have you seen Her? So, like, you'd probably love it. We would both love it because it's a cyberpunk movie, and, like, it's right up our alley. But maybe we should watch it together, and having you near will help to cope with the crushing effect that movie apparently has. Yes, protect me. But yeah, alright. The only books I read are Danielewski. Thankfully, I caught up on The Familiar. Volume 5 is Halloween. I love VNs, but I haven't even consumed my main favorite trilogy yet past the first game. Ah, words. Yeah, I have The Familiar over there. I read, like, 10 pages and was like, okay, this is going to be an endeavor. I can't read this casually. This is a lot. But, you know, I'll probably read it. I really wanted to read it in May, and I even brought it, I think I brought it on my trip with me. Maybe not. But the book 1 is called A Rainy Day in May. So I was like, oh, I was literally picked it up on a rainy day in May, and I was like, oh, this is going to be like, you know, yeah, like atmosphere, matching the subject matter. No, I didn't read it. Alright, well, I've run out of stuff in the chat, so now it's time to move to the Patreon. Let me confirm that we are still live, and that's, yeah, okay, looks like we're still live. Sometimes when the chat's not active, I get worried that we're not actually being watched. Alright, here's the next long-ass Carlos Frigo question. In relation to your FA every week, Fate Apocrypha every week, and how your Digidoes Life podcast, you express the desire to look past negative comments in your videos, yet in your behind the scenes on a month and a half of videos vlog, you also express the desire to move away from talking about Fate because its fans are too loud. Don't you feel as though the same approach you took towards Gundam videos would be applicable to the Fate franchise? As a hardcore fan of Fate myself, I love the podcast simply because it exists, and even though I tend to disagree with your points most of the time, bouncing opinions of different perspectives, bouncing, is the whole concept of human interaction. I cherish the opportunity to listen to people talk about something they don't necessarily know everything about. It lets me know how the fandom that I'm into is seen by the outside eye in a less obsessive way, and I believe that if you're having fun with yourself and Nate, that you should continue it regardless of what Fate facts have to say about it. Even if you're factually incorrect about certain minute details, you're allowed to be wrong about stuff sometimes. Your question will be answered in the meta hole, which is entirely about this subject, pretty much. I mean, except for, like, the half hour that it's the last episode of Vital Fridays and the next episode of Manga Mondays and Alcohol on Sundays. So, yeah, look forward to that. Alright, continuing with live questions here. I feel the same way about watching emotional things. After watching K-On! A Loving Thesis, I was so worried to get into K-On! Even though I knew I would love it. Yeah, I mean, the thing about K-On! Is that while it is emotional, I think it's so, like, positive with the emotions that, like, I love feeling from K-On! And that's, like, one of the few things, it's not destroying for me. Like, I can't watch The Wire, because The Wire will ruin me towards, like, humanity, and I'll just want to coop up into a ball and die. K-On! Makes me want to love everything and be perfect, and every time I watch it, I cry more, because I keep thinking about it more and more, like, how much I have cried, and that makes me cry even more. Fucking, if you watched the Kickstarter, fucking video, of us watching the K-On! Movie. Well, you can't really tell that I'm crying, but I cry for like 30 straight minutes in that video. It's a little ridiculous. Would you recommend watching MLP if you disregard the fandom? That's a great question. I don't know. Because it's been forever since I watched MLP, and like what I like has changed considerably since then. Because with MLP, there's a lot you have to look past. You have to look past the fact that, like, it is clearly hamstrung by being a kids' show and having to be, like, somewhat episodic and losing its showrunner after the first season and the dwindling and changing cast and crew and, like, all the concessions they had to make to Hasbro. Like, there's a lot of bullshit in MLP. But the thing is that it's like the way I got into it was I just watched it passively as like just a fun show, and I thought the first season was okay, and then season 2 started and I thought it was pretty good, and then I got into the fandom, and then I got like way into the show, and then I thought it was amazing, and then like talking about it more and more just made me think more and more and more about the great parts of it. But even, you know, when I was into it, there's a lot of shitty episodes that I wrote videos about how shitty they are, and the fan base hated me for it. So, like, you know, getting into MLP, I feel like it's less that the show itself is just, like, always good, as it is that when you look at it a certain way, you can get a lot out of it. But, like, once you've got all that out of it, then you're left once again with the show. And I think just looking at the show, it's like, yeah, it's good. It is clearly very good, but there's plenty of bullshit in it. So, I'd say it's worth a shot if you're interested. If you like the aesthetic, by all means, give it a go. But I'd have to rewatch it before I could, like, strongly recommend it. And just know that it goes downhill and in weird directions. The only people I know who are still watching it are Endless Jess and Hypocrite, who still love it, but that's because they are sunshine babies, and, like, Endless Jess literally never hates a show. It's, like, almost impossible for him to hate a show. So, like, he will probably watch it till literally everyone else is sick of it. All of my favorite shows I cry constantly during, and my favorite shows aren't sad, I just love them too much. Keion does this, Nichijou, even Monogatari does this. I can't imagine crying to Monogatari. Like, it's so insincere that I can't imagine crying to it. Even when... yeah, I don't know. It'd be difficult. Is that Kickstarter video available to the public or only to people who paid at the time? It's only available to people who paid at the time. I've thought a lot about making some way to make it publicly available. Like, depending on how the Plebe and the Weeb eventually goes, when I mail out all the Blu-rays, I've considered also, like, making more Blu-rays and just selling them. And maybe anybody who buys a Blu-ray will get the other bonus features that came with it, because I can't think of another way to release that stuff fairly. Yeah, he said, I think it would be on the Blu-ray. Yeah, if it can fit on the Blu-ray, I'll put it on there. I kind of have my doubts about that, because the Plebe and the Weeb is going to be, like, each Blu-ray is going to be 10 hours of the Plebe and the Weeb, so that's already a lot to try to fit on a Blu-ray. I mean, I can compress it a bit and make it a smaller file size, but it's going to be a hefty Blu-ray. All right, not seeing any chat, so let's go back to this guy's final question. Finally, do you believe that passion is the driving force behind excellence? How can we as a species encourage passion in media instead of empty mass appeal? I don't know if it's the driving force behind excellence. I don't know. I mean, what are you passionate about? You know, like, if you're passionate about making money, your product will probably not be, like, super deeply emotional, but it will reach a huge audience because you're passionate about trying to do that, and it might, again, invite people deeper. May found out about me because of Mother's Basement, Jeff Thu. Jeff Thu is very passionate about making videos because Jeff Thu is passionate about making money, and you know, well, I'm unfair to him, I know. If you ask him, he'll tell you he's very passionate about his videos and everything he does. And I believe him, but he's definitely not passionate about, like, being an amazing writer or, like, pushing the medium of anime analysis forward or anything like that. He's passionate about, like, getting his thoughts out there. He's passionate about the shows. He's definitely passionate about the shows he's talking about. But the way he goes about talking about them is, like, how do I maximize profits and reach the largest audience and get them to watch this show? He's not really passionate as a writer, I think. But his stuff has mass appeal, reaches anime fans. Those anime fans dig a little deeper, find me, find somebody who's passionate in another way, and they get that deep connection. That deep connection.
Whoa. Real deep. Whoa.
I would defiantly buy a Blu-ray now. Didn't have spare cash back then. Do so with great defiance.
I'd buy a Blu-ray too.
Defy all. Defy everything.
You said that your video on sex and food in Kofuku Graffiti was something that overanalyzed the show. Do you agree with the core point of the video, though? I barely remember it. Like, I mean, I'm sure none of it was something I don't think, but the point of it was, like, to be an overblown analysis of the show. Like, it's obviously not what the creators intended whatsoever for the show to be about. It's just, have you ever seen that video? Because
I probably did.
It was removed from YouTube probably before you even found me, so you might not have seen it.
Maybe not.
Because it was from like early 2015.
Oh, I definitely
or
haven't seen it. I definitely haven't seen it.
Yeah, I think it's from 2015. Maybe even 2014. No, it's from early 2015, and it's a video called Food, Sex, and Life in Kofuku Graffiti. And it's basically about... Because, do you know Kofuku Graffiti? The show about eating food very sexually? Basically, my explanation was that, like, food gives life as does sex, and, like, I was drawing all these connections between them, and, like, that's what this deeper meaning behind the show, which is completely facetious, but, you know, I think I say a bunch of deep shit that, I don't know, probably. I haven't seen that video in fucking forever, because it's been taken down for so long. Alright, well... We're coming up on 2 hours. In fact, we're past 2 hours because I started early, but no one's saying anything anymore. So if you have any final questions you really need to get out, now would be the time. Or else we're fucking ending this goddamn live stream.
My D&D group's pissed off that I blew them up. I got like 30 texts from them. Like, here's Miranda.
Is it too late for you to do it now?
I don't fucking want to go. They spend the whole entire time there just fucking around in the bar, and it's like, okay, it's fun for like, it's a fun gimmick for like 10 minutes, you know, but you don't need to spend the whole campaign in the bar.
This is something I've been wondering about for a while. Why was Jeff ejected from the Procrastinators? Basically, Jeff's being in the Procrastinators in the first place was kind of a weird fluke. Because what happened was that we had made this other chat for the Weebcast, and it was me, Nate, Jeff, Subsonic Sparkle, and Nino. And I had taken off from that after we did the first Weebcast, and then those guys kind of hung around. And I guess Nate, like, you know, had been enjoying talking to Jeff, but kind of didn't want to do it in there, and just wanted to, it was like, why don't we just bring him into the PCP? And so me and Nate were, you know, we kind of worked with them a little bit, and we were like, all right, cool, yeah, it'll be nice to have another guy around, because, I don't know, why not? And basically no one in the group resisted. Like, a couple people said they'd be okay with it, and, like, we showed his videos to a couple people who were, like, doubtful. But, like, it wasn't so much that everyone gave the A-OK as that no one was vocally against it. So we added him in. And the thing is that Jeff very rarely talked in there. Like, at first it seemed like he wanted to be a part of it. But then he started going off to every anime convention and making friends with all these famous people, which he would talk about constantly. And none of us knew who these people were. He'd always be like, oh, I met this guy. And we'd be like, who? And he's like, oh, Team 4-Star. And we're like, none of us watch Team 4-Star, buddy. Don't know who you're talking about. But, you know, he would go on and on about that. And he never really participated in our shit. So, you know, over time, we were just kind of like, it's weird having him in here. Because he would pop in every once in a while to, like, say something about whatever we're talking about. But he had no context because he wasn't around for all the previous discussion. None of us was really friends with him. Like, you know, we didn't really talk to Jeff that much at the time that he was in the group. So when RadCon 2 happened, you know, he came and it was kind of awkward and, like, I mean, we all thought he seemed like a nice guy, but, like, again, he didn't really make much of an attempt to, like, get to know anybody or, like, get into the group. And even after RadCon, he wasn't really posting in the PCP chat. So we were starting to be like, okay, Jeff is not really a member of this group. Why do we even have him here? He never participates in the fucking podcast. He was in like 2 episodes. So let's kick him. Because it was starting to get weird when we talk about like really personal shit. Like, let's say Jesse would be talking about like something going on in his life.
that Jeff has literally no idea what any of it is, and he'd come in and like offer his 2 cents, and we'd just be like, "You don't even know the context of the situation, dude." And then we'd also brought in Mumkey and Munchie, and neither of them knew anything about Jeff, so it was just kind of, you know, it was weird. It was just weird having him there when we didn't really know him at all. So me and Ben had been talking about it, and Ben was just wanted to get rid of him just because Ben's a spiteful man, and was like, yeah, fuck Jeff. He doesn't belong in the group. And then I just was increasingly growing sick of his just way he handles himself on the internet. Like, just his practices and everything, I don't know, were upsetting to me. So I was like, I kind of want him out because I'm kind of sick of him, you know?
Mhm.
And so basically me and Ben campaigned everybody else. And everyone was really resistant to it just because they didn't want to kick people out of the PCP. Like, we didn't want that to be a thing that could happen because it makes us out to be like a club or something. And I get why, but I was just like, look, Jeff never should have been here. Like, we shouldn't be inviting people in unless everyone agrees on it, you know? And I mean, in fairness, even Monkey probably was hasty when we threw him in there, but like whereas Munchie we've known forever, so like he was a natural fit. But yeah, like there is no longer the concept of adding or removing people from the PCP. Those days are behind us. Jeff was an experiment that didn't work out very well. Any thoughts on Doga Kobo? They're good. They're a good animation studio. I should watch New Game 2. Not No Game, No Life. Are you gonna play D&D together? I don't know. Do you want? I don't like D&D that much.
I'm not super into it. Like, it was a fun thing to do when I had nothing to do, but
Yeah.
like the group I'm playing with, they're cool, but I don't think.
Not as cool as me, so therefore
Yeah,
you're
I'd
not
rather
hanging
hang
out with
out
them.
with you. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, D&D is just like it's just like a lot of complications and rules that make it unfun for me. And like waiting for everybody's turn while they do 80 things.
Yeah.
And like, it's just a bit much, and it takes forever. I'd rather just make stuff. I'd rather just make up dumb stories with my friends. Like,
Mhm.
you don't need a game to do that. You know, me and Nate and Ben can just sit around and come up with fucking characters and stories all day, with no need for a fucking spreadsheet to play along with. What are your thoughts on messaging you on Patreon? I always feel weird DMing people. Patreon messages are one of the few places that I will answer. It is a little weird because it makes me feel extremely obligated to answer whatever it is, but like I will much more likely pay heed to your messages if they're on Patreon, like if it's a question or something, or you know, a request. What order did you watch Ghost in the Shell in? Probably broadcast order. Like, I think it was... I'd seen the original movie beforehand, and then I think I rewatched the film, read the manga, watched all of Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, then watched Innocence. Yeah, you know, basically the order that made sense. Mumkey's a good fit for the PCP, though, right? Yeah, he's a good fit, but there's definitely a lot of, like, weird tensions because of the fact that the way he handles his fan base is extremely different from the rest of us, and it's caused a lot of problems because his fans are shit, and they have been harassing Jesse for, like, months on this huge campaign, and Mumkey just doesn't he doesn't fucking take charge of his fans the way the rest of us do. We're all very, like, you know, commenter rules kind of people, and he's not like that at all. And also just, you know, there's a lot of sensibilities that we all developed because we kind of got into this together, and we're all like a tight-knit group from the Pony days, and he's the only one who's not. You know, he was not an MLP guy. He's new, so, you know, there's just been kind of growing pains of having him in the group, but you know, he's still a cool guy, and a lot of us are good friends with him. I'm probably the closest with Mumkey out of anybody in the PCP myself, because I work with him on ISMA, and he's been to my house a couple times. Or Ben. Mumkey, me and Ben and Mumkey are all pretty, you know, gay. Who was the guest that Jesse mentioned you were planning to bring on the PCP for an episode before abandoning the topic to record the PCP versus Mumkey's book podcast? Oh, that was a joke. We were talking about Psy being on there. Because Monkey wanted Psy on there because Psy's read the book, but everyone else vetoed Psy ever being on the Procrastinators podcast. So, yeah, we were just kind of poking fun of Psy, I guess. It's SYY as Laffer Style has written it. Any further questions? Anybody? We're wrapping up. It's about that time. Oh, super like.
Miguel out.
Yes. What is that from?
Fucking ID 0, fam.
Oh, yeah. Get a Miguel out of here. I totally forgot about that. That they called it Migueling out. Alright, see you later, everybody. See you next month. Bye.